Hello, Gauri.
Hello.
Gauri, actually, she had some problem. She's again joining. Maithili.
Second.
You add her.
Hello, 1 second. Sir.
Yeah, she's trying to join. Add her again. She's there now.
Hey, hi, all of you. I'm sorry. I mean, I had some technical challenges and Zoom got disconnected. Yeah.
No problem, madam. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for,
Yeah.
the patience waiting for me. Like,
Thank you very much.
yeah,
A few seconds, it will get started.
sure.
Minds. We are a management consulting and career management firm. We are providing a pre-employment learning program for graduating students from colleges to cater to the needs of different industries, to close in skill gaps and add innovative skills. At the end of the program, we arrange interviews for students to help start careers. We help you to improve your professional skills to achieve your goals. We are also providing you stream-specific courses which will enhance your knowledge and give you practical experience. We are providing corporate trainings as well. Join our webinars and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos. You can get the channel link in the video description. We are happy to help you.
Welcome, everyone. Group discussion is an important tool in the selection process for freshers. Each group contains 6 to 10 candidates. Each group is given a topic for discussion. The time limit for each group discussion is 15 minutes. Each participant has to give his or her views about the topic in discussion. The mentors observe the full discussion. After the time limit is over, feedbacks are given. Rare Minds, an industry academia interface platform that offers twin solutions to empower students, bring out their potential, and in parallel partner with corporates to talent acquisition. Rare Minds during COVID-19 has created the platform Gold, that is group online discussion. Gold is the platform made available to students every day from 3 to 5 p.m. To practice group discussion skills for free. Our CEO and founder, Dr. Subhashini Ramaswamy, has over 2 decades of experience in CXO and advisory roles for startups. a doctorate in education, and focus as a leader is on collaborating with other leaders to empower and build a learning city. Gold is one such platform made for students an opportunity to empower. We have mentors on board with us. I welcome our mentor for today, Ms. Maithili Vijayaraghavan. She has completed her MPhil specialization in OD, HR, MBA specialization Learning and Development, MA in Public Administration, PGD Human Resource Management from IIMAT. HR business partner by profession with a total years of experience 16 years in high-tech MNC. She's currently working at Rockwell Automation. Her passion is people development, mentoring, and behavioral learning. She's also a professional singer, performed in various uh, events. Popular for devotional music, she's an anchor as well. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us today here.
Thank you so much for a good invite. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the skills you learn are managing stress, improving communication, presentation, public speaking. It's an opportunity to show your leadership skills, showcase your natural interest to take initiative, bring groups together. So happy participation to all of you. And once again, welcome to everybody in the group here. So now we start with our group discussion, session. The topics have been shared with everybody in the groups, but we will have the pointers shared here as well in the chat for everybody to refer. So once again, students, each topic will have 15 minutes for you to do the discussion, and also request all the students to please turn on their videos so that the evaluation by a mentor here will be better. She will be able to give you better inputs even on your body language. So request everybody to turn on their videos. Thank you, Priya.
Gauri.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Maithili will say a few words about the reading.
Sure, sir.
Hey, thanks, Gauri. Thanks, Narasimhan. Hey, hi, all of you, right? This is a wonderful opportunity that Rare Minds have created for you, right? Basically, because, group discussion is one platform that takes you to the next step. It shows, how you can assertively communicate in a group, how you can lead a subject or a topic could be it could be a topic just given, or it could be a case study, or it could be it could be a current affair, or it could be a controversial topic, right? But it shows how creative and innovative you can be while you are presenting your thoughts. It has something called the behavioral expectation, like how Gauri did state, right? How do you lead? Do you get argumentative, or is there something that you lead in a very, very approachable manner? How do you show your leadership qualities? How do you come up with creative thinking? And how do you conduct yourself in terms of even listening capabilities, right? It's about communication, right? Attentiveness. How do you focus when the other person is talking? How do you talk things that is impactful and meaningful to the topic that is given? This is very, very important in a group discussion. And don't fear, right? Confidence, and that is important. And self talk, and do not wait to share a topic or a point of view, right? Don't ever hesitate if you have a thought to share. And that's about group discussion, right? Hold your talk when somebody else is talking. Don't over talk, or don't barge in when somebody is talking. But whenever there is a chance you get, do not miss the opportunity to use the chance for yourself, right? With that, I don't want to steal away your time. All the very best. I'm very happy to be a part of all of you. Just feel confident, and it's a great learning platform. Thanks to, I think, the team who's actually initiated this. With this, I would want to pass it back to Gauri. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those insights beforehand. So I hope the students are, will take it up and do the discussion accordingly.
Absolutely.
Priya, can you hear me? Just
Yeah,
want
yes, ma'am.
All right, fine. Right. Now starting with our first topic, you will be having 15 minutes. And our first topic for today is, can artificial intelligence replace human intelligence? I repeat it again. Can artificial intelligence replace the human intelligence? You have the topic and the pointers in the chat for your reference, and your time starts now.
Yeah, fine. Let me start it. Can I start?
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't think so. Artificial intelligence can completely replace human intelligence, because artificial intelligence is basically a machine working what we tell. It's done by human interfaces. Maybe upcoming we'll just have a combination of an artificial intelligence work along with the human interface works, so the work might get better, but the human intelligence won't be replaced by artificial intelligence. Like, for example, if you take artificial intelligence works only on the basis of the data which is like the data we've given for that. Based on the data, the results will be analyzed, and machine works only in the repetitive way. But human intelligence is like we create our own works uh, in many of the fields. So machines won't have that capability of creating their own work. They just follow the orders given to them. So even though AI seeks a depth information, like when we go on problem solving methods, AI takes in depth. It does a research in depth for the given data and gives us a result. But the results which is obtained by the machine will be on the analysis of the other criteria which we would have given. But human people might take, like they might give the a solution for the problems in the different methods other than the actual solutions which we would have obtained in the previous or this one previous problems in the same criteria, like see achieves higher accuracy. Yeah, AI achieves higher accuracy as of the point is put out here, but isn't it based on everything is based on the previous data which is obtained. It's nothing about the new things over here. So it's all about human intelligence which is taking new ideas over. So everything matters is about new ideas in the upcoming. It's not just the old data's give we have. So I don't think so the human intelligence will be replaced. Maybe some criteria where the people might lose their jobs and everything because of machines, but very less. But the same criteria where the new opportunities will also be evolved. So human intelligence will have a place, like where they actually have. That's it.
Those are great pointers, Priya. It's a good start. Anybody else wants to add something? Shruti, Tanya, Vaishnavi, Meghna. So the group discussion forum here that we have is basically for you to boost your confidence, and it's going to be going to be an everyday basis. So you can talk and turn on your videos irrespective of how you are looking. And like Priya shared her views, you can also share, and it has to be a discussion. So if you guys can add some pointers to it as well.
Hey, uh, one thing that I'm just taking it as thanks, Gauri. I mean, for you know what? I see names here, and I only know the names, and I know Priya started it. Thanks, Priya. But we are all in a learning curve, right? I was in your situation in the past, right? Gauri would have been there, Narsimhan would have been there. All of us would have been in that platform, right?
Yeah.
But there is something called a start. Unless you people start, there will never be a progress. There's no end to it. understand there's no end to it, but there is a starting point always, right? So my request is like, it is important that you people start initiating it. Otherwise, you will only be waiting for the others to talk. So let me see who is the next person who's going to raise hand now to talk,
Ma'am,
Go ahead, Shruti.
Yes, Shruti, go ahead.
yes, ma'am. I would like to add a few points, but I don't want to turn on my video right now. But I will add a few points that I want to put out.
Sure, Shruti,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to add was humans are constantly evolving. There's no stop to how the human beings are evolving. At, now the babies right now, they use technology far better than most people who are of the older generations. But for machines, it's not like that. We give data to the machines, and whatever data we have fed, they just work on that. They don't have the ability to think for themselves and evolve continuously. But as humans, we do have that opportunity, and I think if machines replace human brain, then that is one big disadvantage.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's it.
Sure. Okay, who next? Any comments on Shruti? I mean, I should not be leading this, guys.
Tanya, Meghna, would you like to add some pointers as well?
Tanya, Meghna, Priya, you have made a point. So I mean, Shruti is having a point. So any thoughts around it?
Mom, yeah, I mean, what she told is right, but like, see, like we have an example that Sophia was a robot, and there was a two robots communicating, and the humans disabled it because when we introduce some AI machines, we even monitor it. So
Mhm.
in such cases, I don't think so they will overcome us. So it's because every time, even human being, yes, we we develop things because we'll be excited to develop such things as engineers. Yeah, even like we'll be happy to develop a machine which can speak just like me, how with
Mhm.
using brains and all. But at the same time, even I'll be scared that what if it overcomes my abilities. So no human beings are ready to give, like, show up there, like anyone. They won't let anyone to overcome their abilities. So I don't think so that would be possible. There might be a chance of we joining with machines and doing a work better, but we won't be replaced.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so
Okay.
true, right?
Anybody else? Tanya, Meghna, here are two viewpoints here, right?
We have Sukruti who's joined in now. Sukruti, would you like to add something?
So silence, would that mean that you guys are agreeing both to Shruti and Priya? Sukruti, Meghna, Tanya, who else? A quick check on the audio. Are you all able to hear us clearly?
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
it Gauri or me?
yeah.
Other than Shruti and maybe Priya, rest of you, can you hear us?
Meghna, Tanya, Sukruti, can you hear us?
You guys have to unmute and then talk if you're talking.
Ma'am, if you can just help them out with this first topic, so that we can um, let them know how it is done and how can we take it forward, and
Sure.
then probably from the second topic we will hopefully have a better participation.
Great. So, I want Shruti and Priya to start participating along with me since you guys are talking and you've already made a lead. I'm just going to show a role play of how a group study can start off with. Okay. So, here's what I want both of you to do, Priya and Shruti. I'm going to start some topic and I'm going to pause, and one of you is going to pick up. It could be the same discussions that you've done already. It could be the same points. Don't hesitate to talk the same points. It's just that I'm showing a role play of how a group discussion happens and how you will be monitored, observed for that. How you will be evaluated for it. The first and foremost things, I'm going to give you 4 tips over here, right? One, a group discussion is something where somebody has to lead, somebody has to continue. It is a participative, interactive thing. Okay, there is no stop to it. A group discussion, if a minute, say 15 minutes is given, it is like, whoever is going to take the lead continuously start giving their points creatively or impactful way, meaningful way they're giving about the topic, right? That is group discussion. All right. Very importantly, third thing is like, silence is not group discussion for sure. Group discussion would mean communication. So, it is very important for an evaluating person, right? Somebody is, suppose you're on an interview, right? And there's a group discussion which is happening, and there are a panel of interviewers sitting there for you, right? And suppose there are a set of HR people and your managers and all of those people sitting there, right? What would they observe in you? Is the person confident? Is the person taking an initiative? Is the person able to talk in front of people? Is the person able to articulate or communicate in the required manner? Is there a eye contact? Is the person listening to the question, right? These are all the do's there, right? And then how effectively you are taking lead and talking, how effectively you are sharing your thought process, how effectively you're able to communicate, convince your viewpoints, right? That's all about group discussion. Confidence, that is going to, we are trying to build the confidence, so very important that you start it now. Okay. Second thing that you need to understand, the don'ts, right? Silence is a don't in group discussion. Over talking is also not good. At the same time, listening is very important. Not to interrupt is a not to do, right? And it's also important that don't hesitate. The don'ts may, don't hesitate, don't lose out confident, don't lose out the trust in yourself, right? Don't even lose out the power of yourself, right? Those are all don'ts in your group discussion. There is always a starting point, so don't miss out on your opportunity to take that lead. That is group discussion, a very simple, if you really see in its nature, it's very simple. It could look complicated or complex, or it could be scary, but trust me, right? Once you start it, it just comes with the flow. It comes with a practice, right? I just want to start off. I just wanted to give you that thought process around a group discussion, and I'm going to take Priya's and Shruti's help now. Ready, Priya, Shruti?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's how we're going to do
Yes,
it,
ma'am.
right? I'm going to switch on my video, and what I'm going to do is uh, assume that I'm a part inside this group discussion, right? And we three are there in a group discussion. Mr. Narsimhan, I would want you to be the mentor now for the three of us, right? I'm going to do a role play to how you can really do a group study. Would you be helping us, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, so I'm going to start it off, right? So, Priya and Shruti, when I'm talking, right, after I talk, you have a point, please raise it. It could be plus, it could be or in favor of what I'm telling, or adding points to it, which could, act as a supporting points to what I've said, or it could be a controversial, or it could be just not agreeing to it, right? But how do you present yourself and with a smile and with a confidence and with the right behavioral movements, right? The facial expressions cannot be, keep it neutral. Okay. And that's nice, Priya. Shruti, I'm not able to see you, but that's fine, right? I will be able to gauge from your pitch and the tones, right? So I'm going to start the topic, right? We are talking of AI, artificial intelligence, right? I'm going to start off this topic like, I would say artificial intelligence is something which is going to help human resources, or be it any other industry, right? It is going to help us. Why is it going to help us? Because then it's calling for a different skill sets, different talent that is expected, different competency that is expected from us, right? So because of which, what I feel is, where we are able to do things, manually, right? We'll be able to automate things, and there is something else which is going to be automated, which is man fed, right? The brains are still human being, the human brain is still getting fed, and we're still able to cater to whatever customer needs or stakeholder needs more efficiently, because we are already going to put our brains into a machine, and the machine is going to help us do what we want to do. Thus we are saving our time to do better work. That's my viewpoint, um, so Shruti and Priya, you should not, I mean, when I pause, you got to start. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I do agree for your point, as you said. Like AI will save our time, and yeah, whatever work we are supposed to be done, the most of the work will be done by them. It will help us in fact. So in that way, like how we tell, like we have some like helpers who can help us. So AI like machines would be the one in these days which will be helping us in such kind. So it is we are the one who's feeding the information to it, right? So we'll not be replaced, as the topic says there. So for
Yeah,
your
ma'am, I completely agree with you as well. But what I would like to tell is robots. We feed the data to them. Whatever work we want them to do, we just feed that to them, and they do that. For monotonous works that we want them to do, then that is fine. But if we want them to improve on what they're doing, I don't think they can do that.
So artificial intelligence is used here not to improve the robots' work, but is improved our work, right? Our capabilities, right? So it's going to give us more support. Even it could be a monotonous. You're right, Shruti, right? It could be a monotonous job, but you're saving time in actually doing it. Be it an operational job or something which is very very monotonous or regular thing, right? Then we don't have to be sitting and doing that. Then you have an extra hand to do it. So I still would say artificial intelligence is more important. That is coming and evolving, and I think it's going to help us in this upcoming ages, maybe even in the human resource field, right? Yeah,
It is
you
going to
mean.
help us, ma'am. It is going to help us to one extent, but there always has to be someone who's controlling it. So
Absolutely,
it
and that's
can't,
the competency we need to build in, right?
yeah, so it can't completely replace humans, but to one extent, yeah. As I said again, for monotonous work, for things that needs to be repeated again and again and again, then that will be good. But if there's something creative that I want to do, something imaginative, some product designing, something like that, if I have to do, then humans have to be there, because robots can't think for themselves.
Fair
yeah,
point.
yeah. What you told was true, Shruti. Yeah, well, like that's what was my point when I mentioned that earlier. But one case, what I would like to add here is, see, anyone would not be ready to do a monotonous work. So someone would always like to do what innovative work. So in such cases, human would take a chance of take a chance to innovate something new. So at the same time, they might ask artificial intelligence also to evolve at the same time. It's in such cases, see, earlier days we weren't knowing what is AI was, but now we know what AI is. Even humans have evolved, and AI has evolved too. So upcoming, it might be a chances of AI also innovative something new, but replacing humans would not be possible, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. AI has evolved because humans have evolved.
Yeah, and AI will still evolve into a better, I would say, something like a man, but not a man, right? Not a human,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
still will be able to be intelligent enough to do things that is loaded into it. So I would still say that it is going to help the future, and it's just that our skills and capabilities will have to be every now and then upgraded, and because of which I think we will be able to use the artificial intelligence in the right efficient manner, so that we become more efficient and productive in the future days. Okay, I'm just putting a stop here, right? Because I don't want to do a group study. I just want to do. Hey, thanks for the guts there, right, Priya and Shruti. Now I'm going to pass it on to Narsimhan to just talk two three a few words about here, and then uh, sir, before I pass it on to you, Meghnath, who else is there? Tanya, and who else joined, Gauri?
Ma'am, we have Chandana,
Okay.
Vaishnavi.
So,
Uh,
may I request you, Gauri, now that Shruti, Priya, and I've done one group, can you just group them into three people and maybe they can start talking? Before that, I really want, sir, would you want to just talk few points in the way this happened and just share the, uh, you know, uh, your viewpoints and as to how this happened, so that it's a learning for the rest of the team who can start doing a group discussion now with us.
Okay. Thanks, Maithili, for guiding them. Shruti and Priya, good start. Your flow is good, and it is whatever the points you discussed were relevant. The only thing is, human intelligence cannot be replaced. Everyone agree. But in this era, modern era, we need AI. AI is going to live in the future, and with the improved versions also. So what we are thinking is, we are seeing from you is, how are you going to utilize this AI? So that's what the point. So discussion was good, and you were relevant to the points, and it would, I think, it would motivate others also in the group to start discussing. So pass it on to Gauri. Hope that others also will join in the next group discussion. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, thanks again, right? That was a great start and good points to discuss. With this, I really want more participation. And, this was only a role play. Yes, Shruti and Priya did start this very well. So I want the rest of you also to participate because it's a learning platform that has been created for you. I'm passing it back to you, Gauri.
Thank you, ma'am. And thanks for kickstarting the session as well and helping the students. Um, Priya and Shruti, you guys have started well. And Vaishnavi and Sukruti, we would like to hear pointers and you also to be a part of this discussion. So we can move to our next topic, that is innovation versus invention. What is more important? The topic is innovation versus invention. What is more important? And your 15 minutes time starts now. Vaishnavi, Sukruti, would you like to start?
Good afternoon. This is Sukriti.
Thank you, Sukruti.
Yeah, so the topic was invention versus innovation, which is more important. As we all know, invention is like creating something new, and innovation is improving on what we have already created. And personally, I feel innovation is more important, as like once we invent something, and if we don't innovate it, there is no point of inventing it in the first place. Because as time changes, I think what is already there should be improved, should be innovated to adjust to our current situation. So I think innovation is more important than invention.
But can I ask you, Sukriti, that without invention, how can you innovate it, right? So invention is also something needed.
Yeah, sure. I think we are at a stage where like most of the things we need is already invented. And what is required right now is to innovate them. So currently, I feel innovation is more important than invention.
But innovation is only accepted when the customer it demands for it. Otherwise, innovations you keep innovating. It's like people don't take it. Only when you have profit, the innovation would work. But invention will be something where it's always attractive. Like develop something new. So invention is important too. As you told, I agree. But I just thought of this.
Hi, I'm Vaishnavi. I agree with both Priya and Sukriti. I believe innovation and invention is important. So once something is invented, it's always necessary to improvise on it, and hence innovation comes into the picture. So I think both of them carry an equal weightage because new skills demand new inventions every day because we're advancing. So
there is a requirement for new inventions, and hence, as the demand increases, more products are required. So innovation comes into the picture then.
More points?
Shruti, would you like to add?
Yes, ma'am. I think I will agree with Priya more than Sukruti or Vaishnavi, because I think invention is what is necessary for us, and innovation is just it's not a necessity. It's just something that we can improve on. I would tell it's a choice. But invention is what is required for us to get a kickstart. We need to start something, we need invention. And I think innovation is uh it's kind of inbuilt with invention, because we need to be innovative when we're actually inventing something. So I think I would say invention is more important than innovation.
Okay.
Who else?
You guys are going great. So you should probably add some more points.
Yep.
Vaishnavi, Sukriti, it was a good start. Priya, you would like to add?
Or maybe what Shruti told was right. Invention is much needed than innovation, like what she told. Like just an example, like maybe it's funny too. So like when now to have a house is necessity, but to innovate it is like just a chance. Like you take it how you want. So just like basic building on house is very much necessary, but innovating it is just a chance. Like each individual will take that. So it's just that way. Just like
Just to bring a discussion to a different turning point here. Okay, there are 2 points here, and there's one person who said like both are important, right? I want to ask a question and think through those lines, right? Did Edison invent or innovate the bulb, the light bulb?
he invented. Yeah.
Would everybody agree to this?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yeah, it was invented.
That's Priya's point. What about Shruti, Vaishnavi?
Maybe it was innovated. Like
Why do you say so?
before the light bulb, there were other means of.
I believe it was invented, and because it was innovated. I mean, sorry.
I'm sorry. Are you saying invented? Who just Vaishnavi, did you say it's invented? And if whoever is saying invented, please let me know why invented, and who is saying innovated, why innovated.
Vaishnavi, yeah. I believe
Yeah.
it was innovated.
Yeah, even I think it was innovated. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it
Vaishnavi,
was
yeah.
innovated as well, because
Uh,
it was originally it's
think it's
actually said
innovation.
that it was originally Tesla's idea, and
Mhm.
Edison stole it. So that's what that is what is said. So Edison didn't really invent it; he just innovated on it.
But what does the world say? If you ask anybody who brought how does the world say, or how do we say? Just now we heard that, right? Who invented it? Is immediately we don't say. Whom do we say? It is Edison. Why is that so? It's a food for thought, guys.
Maybe
Now you can
maybe
turn
it's
the
more
discussion.
practically used, so that's when like they take it to the consideration.
Exactly. That was.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't stop, guys. It's great. You're going great. Go ahead. I just wanted to seed that thought here so that your thinking can change accordingly.
Mm,
And you still can get to innovations and invention stocks. You still can be, competing each other. Yeah.
Mom, maybe
Just
the base.
improving the already existing city, and the need to innovate it else was done years ago.
Mhm.
Better way. The same way Thomas Edison innovated the already existing light bulb in a way which was useful for everyone. So maybe that's why we say that the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison.
Or maybe I would just tell, see, electricity is being behind all these things. So electricity was just like just like maybe it was invented like then Edison might be the one who took it into consideration, and he like he what he discovered the electric bulb, invented electric bulb, which was much in application. The same way we can tell like dynamo too, that was also we tell an invention, right? Like maybe the improvisation which was made and much after that was innovation. The basic terms how to put an electricity into application might be an invention to things. So that might be a chances why we call it
Getting
as
to the
invention.
topic, right, guys? Great. I just wanted to sow this thought so that the discussion can get more energetic, right? Now, can you get back to the topic connecting? You spoke of dynamo, Priya. Also,
Yeah.
we spoke about the electricity. You even brought the thought of electricity. Now, get back to talking about why or which is more important: innovation, invention. Can we
May,
have more discussions now on that? Now, yeah.
or maybe each plays its like everything has its own role. But I would preferably tell invention is much needed, much necessity, considering all the points which we spoke earlier.
Yes, I would agree with Priya because with the even in the case of Tesla and Edison, without Tesla, Edison wouldn't have gotten the idea of inventing light bulb at all. So I think invention is still important over innovation. For example, we're using so many apps right now that will invent. We can take that as an invention. But even without the updates, which are innovations, even without the updates, we're still using it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think invention is more important than innovation.
Who else wants to agree, disagree? Yeah, go ahead, Vaishnavi.
I disagree with both of them. Okay, I'm Sukriti speaking.
Okay, Sukriti, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I disagree with both of them. I think invention is creating something basic. The basic model of something is invention. That cannot be used by everyone. That cannot be commercially sold. That is not useful. That we can't use easily. Innovation is making it user friendly, making it viable for everyone. I think that is more important than invention. Invention can't be used by everyone. Innovation, on the other hand, improving on it will make it more useful. So I think innovation is more important.
Yes, Sukriti, what you told was right. But my doubt, let me ask you a basic question. See, first, the basic mobile set was invented. Let us take it like that. But even now, people use that as well. Not all uses the Android or smartphones or iPhones. So it's about how we take the innovations, right? It's about the how people use it. It's not if you just innovate and live it. It's not into usages. It's about how people use. I mean, even we would have seen our grandparents still uses the basic sets which is still invented, like my grandparents use. So I just take that. So invention is much needed, and it's much more important. Innovation is just about our usage and how we evolve. Based on that, we take the things into more fashionable way, like that. I can tell it.
The
Yeah, I
telephone
agree.
which our grandparents used, the basic model wasn't the invented one, it was the improved one. The invented one couldn't be used by anybody other than the inventor.
But isn't that like he invented it to test it? It might be so the upcoming the
Sure,
testing would obviously take, right? Yeah.
Sure, the first step is inventing, but after that, we do need to improve it. With only the first step, nothing can be done. That was my main point actually. That first step is inventing, but after that, innovation is necessary. Innovation is important.
But commercially, if you want to talk commercially, then I think innovation might play a role. But even when you take the telephones, for example, initially, initially invention was important, and maybe the point of the invention wasn't, supposed to be commercialized at all. So invention was definitely important.
Okay.
And
What else?
innovation might, if you talk commercially, innovation might like improve your customer base or something. But invention is what it is the first step, obviously. And without the first step, without the foundation, there is no point to building upon.
Okay, this is actually speaking. So I believe both of them go hand in hand. Invention is the crux of any basic idea of the start of any basic idea. Innovation is improvising on it. So I would like to quote a metaphor. So hydrogen take hydrogen to be the invention, and all the elements that we have now is an innovation of all that, because that was the basic building element. So I believe both of them go hand in hand.
More thoughts?
You still have 3 more minutes and it's going really great. So if you want to add some more points.
I don't think the chemicals example is actually apt here, because the other chemicals don't have anything to do with hydrogen at all. So, I don't see how innovation is important here.
I said it's a metaphor. It's a basic building element.
It is not actually. Hydrogen is not the basic building element of other elements. Maybe of other compounds, but not elements.
More points?
That's it, ma'am. I think we're done.
Sure. Okay. Vaishnavi did talk of a metaphor. Only a couple of you had a point. Anybody else have more points? Okay, it is for elements, maybe for components, not for elements. Any other thoughts? Priya's points?
No.
No? Okay. Hey guys, congratulations, right? I mean, whether what is important or not, first thing that I really want to do is congratulate you guys before I hand it back to Gauri, right? Let me complete this, this portion for you guys, right? Extremely good attempt. I think it's picking up. I would like to see more energy. A couple of positives that I want to talk, and I'm going to call out names and tell the positives here now. Priya, great
Yes,
lead. I mean, you don't hesitate to share your thought process. So that's a fantastic thing that, right? You don't try to tell your points, which is good, right? Shruti, same thing, right? When you have a point, you come back and talk, you share your points, and you wait for the others to talk and then come back with your point, which is good. Vaishnavi, bringing a different concept altogether, right? I know maybe it may not have been directly related to this, but a metaphor, right? You brought in that to bring in a change to the discussion in terms of understanding this whole topic into why both are important, right? It goes hand in hand. I think uh, that was a great way of bringing in a topic, but I think while you are talking, maybe you will have to stress it more with an example. When I'm saying, even if it is related to an hydrogen, right, you got to talk more why you're bringing the metaphor in, right? Sukruti, right? Gauri, if I'm right, was it Sukruti who spoke next?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
ma'am.
Sukriti as well. Yeah.
Hey, Sukriti, I liked your points as well, right? Great start. And, I think you wait before you talk is what I've observed. It's okay to talk when you have a point, but, when you spoke, whatever has to be shared and articulated very well, right? And that's a big plus to all of you, right? You guys can start a conversation, can pitch in, compete, share your thought process, which is all plus, great going. If I might have to give some tips around what can be looked as an area for maybe for you guys to work in, right, is one is when you're talking, there could be a stress in your point, and when you're making an example or when making a statement, right, maybe the way you articulate it can be a little more detailed. Something like, I don't agree to is just a statement which does not complete why you don't agree to, right? Rather, you can get it a little more detailed and say, this is the fact, this is the reason, this is why I am not agreeing to it, right? That is a learning point for you people. Other than that, I would just add another point which I want to kind of call as a learning curve for you here is unless names are called, I think nobody is starting. Group discussion is not about Gauri or Maithili or Narsimhan to call out names. It is about, you will be in front of unknown people as well. Nobody's going to call out names, right? It's about you picking up the cue and start talking. It has to be continuous, like, and there should be free flow of thoughts. If a 15 minutes is given, right, it should actually get into 15 minutes, and maybe they should think, oh, we should give more time for these people. There's a lot of things coming out from this group, and that's the energy that you should start working on. It's a great start. Apply this in the third topic that Gauri will be giving to you guys, right? With that, whether innovation and invention, right? Without something which is invented, innovation cannot happen. That's the right point where Vaishnavi said, like, but what is the game changing thing for us, right? Today, there is already, which is there, which is many things are already innovated and it's already there, right? And I don't want to generalize out here, but definitely game changing is for us in innovation. Without innovation, we cannot cater to what may need, or we cannot do creative things, right? Yeah, there is a brain behind. It has to be invented. And once there is an invention, there has to be an innovation, right? I won't say it goes hand in hand, but I'm saying that there is a foundation, which is invention. And then you need, while you build, somebody used a building, right? A foundation is also needed at the same time, right? You need to know where to put the pillars. You need to know where the windows have to come. You need to know, okay, if there is a ventilation, there should be a cross ventilation. You also need to know, okay, if I'm going to build 4-floored building and this is what the base should be, right? That's innovation, right? Invention is about, okay, we need a house. Houses were also there earlier, right? There could be how do you say that, mud houses which were there. They were living in caves, right? So something kind of roof is your innovation. But when you're putting thoughts to bring in colors, bringing different styles of houses, different ways, like, call it Vastu Sastra or the entrance, and call it where should the water be, everything is coming up newly, right? But are we saying that this was not existing in the past? It was, right? From the time of Chanakya management, it is all existing. From Mahabharata to epics, right? Innovations, the inventions are already there. What we are currently doing is, invention is there as a foundation. Innovation is what we are doing as a game changing, or, what is needed with a creative thinking. So yes, the pillar is also needed. The foundation is also needed, is what I want to sum up out here. Great discussion. Gauri, back to you for the next topic. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for the feedback as well. And all of you, Priya, Shruti, Sukriti, Vaishnavi, it was a good going. And the discussion also was really great. Hopefully, you will pick up the points that ma'am just shared for the next topic that will be coming up. So our next topic is use of renewable energy in India. The topic is use of renewable energy in India. We also have some pointers for you in the chat. You can refer to the pointers. And your time starts now.
Who's starting?
Ma'am, I would like to start. So, renewable energy has always been used in India and is still being used. And I think renewable energy is more important because not the entire India, not the entire population is well versed with technology. So they still choose traditional methods. Maybe I can give you an example. Maybe burning, maybe like burning something. People in villages, they still they don't use modern technology for anything. They still rely on nature. They still rely on environment, on renewable energy, and I think it's very important, and it will continue to be used because not the entire population can get can be well versed with technology all at once. They can't become literate all at once. So renewable energy is still very important and is always going to be important.
Mm-hmm. Guys, don't wait. I'm not going to call out names, nor Gauri is going to call. So, Shruti has made her points here. I kind of, whatever I said, right? Don't wait. Start continuing the discussion.
Maybe even I will agree with Shruti as she told the renewable energy is used in India and it's much needed too. Because now we might be using quite a few of non-renewable energy resources, but once the things is non-renewable resources are completely like when we are not able to while it will be back to renewable energy again. So instead of that, we now are using most of the renewable energy resources. Example I can tell you is to use power supply we use solars. There might be many limitations too, like the panels might not be degradable, or there might be many other causes with that. But on behalf of that, we are trying to save most of the powers by using the solar energy resources. So even we use examples now is most of the agricultural fields, what we do is we use the renewable energy resources there. From for an example, we could take we take electricity from hydropowers. From there we generate electricity to most of the um, villages there. So and and the pan in fields and all, we take a opportunity of setting up solar panels and using electricity there too, and for many other purposes. So we are using quite a number of renewable energy resources in India. Maybe not to much extent, but we are trying to develop in upcoming days to use the renewable resources.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would like to say that India, like when we take the Indian government, I think it's putting its maximum efforts to develop renewable energy,
Mm-hmm.
renewable resources. But when it comes to individuals, when it comes to the locals, the villagers, nothing is being done on that front. The government, when it's supplying when it's using hydropower, wind power, it is doing its best. But I think what it really needs to do is encourage the individuals to go for renewable sources of energy, like ask people to have their own solar panels on the rooftops or something like that. So I think if we make progress in that regard, we'll be a we'll be a renewable energy dependent country completely.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the rural population, they are already using renewable energy even without realizing it. For example, I think they don't have much of a choice because, for example, they need to use sunlight. They don't have another option there. So I think
Hey,
they are
Shruti,
using renewable
I
energy.
lost few words of yours. You said without knowledge, rural population are already using, and you said, for example, after that, I could not listen to you. Could you please repeat that?
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Shruti.
yes, ma'am. I'm telling without their knowledge, even I'm telling they're using renewable energy, even without knowing it, they don't seem like they have much of a choice as well because when they don't have electricity, they're forced to use sunlight. They don't have a choice there. So I think they're using renewable energy even without realizing it.
Mm-hmm. More thoughts?
Maybe I would just tell us maybe why it's not completely in utilization is at the basic setups for things we will have to invest in a lot amount. So maybe that's why people quite hesitate to go with that for renewable energy too. Because example, I would even suggest like what solar panels have what I earlier mentioned. Maybe let's take an example of Madkeri side where we'll have quite a rainy time most of the time. So maybe people over there might not use that, and they would preferably use electricity only. Maybe it depends on the conditions or the climatic things or their the investments too. People over there will think investing on solar panels in such places are not a preferable idea like that. So maybe it's that way too. It depends on many other criterias too. That's why we are
Yes, I
not using.
totally agree. Yes, I totally agree with Priya because I'll give you an example of my own house. I think in the urban area, we don't have much access to renewable energy, renewable sources at all. Because personally, in my house, we use solar panels as well as geyser for hot water. But when there's no hot water in solar, we're forced to use geysers. So I think in urban areas, we are limited. Our sources are limited. But in the rural areas, it is being used to a large extent.
When you say that the sources are limited in rural and urban areas, I think this is where the government comes into play. Like when the government is the electricity that we are using, like the electricity you are using to heat the water, when the solar is not working, that electricity also is coming from renewable resources like hydropower or a wind power or solar power that the government is generating. So that it's not a restrictive criteria when you talk it in, like when you take it in that way.
Yes, but you mentioned that the government should encourage individuals to start using renewable resources.
Yes,
So I think that might be a little difficult.
when I said that, I didn't say that we can entirely depend on renewable resources which we generate. I meant that along with the government, we can also install solar panels so that we don't have to depend entirely on what the government is producing, so that we can also produce some of it on our own.
Oh, yeah, what you told was right. Because in such cases, we will be able to reduce the lot of economic burdens than buying the power from the government too. Isn't it a profit for an individual? Like, I agree with Shruti's point. That's why I'm telling it. Because we have to encourage individuals in such cases.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So if we have our own renewable source, we can also decrease our economic burden as well as help the government reach other areas where they can't have renewable sources of their own, resources of their own.
But I think that will be a little difficult once we're already established. For example, if I want to make my house completely solar dependent, then that will be super costly for me right now, because I'll have to set up solar panels. And as Priya pointed out, if there is say rain, heavy rain or something, and anything happens and the solar panel is damaged, it's going to take a lot of money for me to again uh, would maintain it, to again repair it, get it repaired. And this is just not a one-time thing. It just keeps happening over and over again. So it might be a good idea if you're like doing from scratch, if that is what you're implementing from scratch. But once you're already established, once you're already using non-renewable resources, I think there's no going back to renewable resources.
But yes, as the topic mentions the use of renewable energy in India, so I would suggest is like renewable energy resources is actually the best alternatives what we can find in the upcoming days, and it's infinite too. So we can keep using it. So in addition to that, take an example of like burning a coal or like to obtain a fossil fuels and all. So there'll be an like a global warming happening and greenhouse gas emissions and all happening, so which pollutes our environment. So the people might, like the public health might be going up, like not public health might not be, I mean, it might disturb our public health. So in such cases, if we use renewable, if we start like though we are using now, if we start using renewable energy in a much more way, we might avoid a pollution level, like the pollution levels might drop out, and the health of public might also improve. So it's just a point of view.
Mhm.
Like using of renewable energy resources is like it's good, it's needed.
Yes, that is true. But what I'm trying to tell is, okay, it's not related to what you're telling, but what I'm trying to tell is when we're already using non-renewable resources now, I don't think we can replace it with renewable to a very large extent. If we can take small examples, and if we can take like small appliances, small applications where we can use renewable instead of non-renewable, then yeah, that's okay. if we want to totally replace renewable, non-renewable by renewable, it's going to be difficult. The government, according to Sukriti, I agree with you. So the government should take steps to encourage renewable to the newer generation. Suppose our generation, where we'll have to set up a house, then we can make it totally solar dependent. But what non-renewable is being used now, I think there's not much we can do about that.
I think we are all missing the point. The non-renewable energy that we are talking about is the electricity supplied by the government, right? But the government is also supplying electricity generated by renewable resources.
Yes,
So it's
Kriti.
not really telling that if we don't have solar panels, we are just using non-renewable resources. The electricity we are getting is also generated from renewable resources like hydropower and stuff.
Yes, Sukriti, that's what we spoke as we spoke earlier. See, now though we know the what electricity is generated by the hydropower, but by we are paying for it, and then we are buying an electricity for our daily usage purpose. But in such cases, when we can use our own renewable resources, why should we pay for it? Like amount of paying would be quite less if we use renewable resources, like for our like from our own interest, like that.
It's going great, guys. Some more pointers. You still have 2 more minutes.
I think I would like to
If
end
any,
it. Yeah, end it by
yeah,
saying
you
that if we have renewable resources of our own installed in our houses, it will help us to a certain extent, because it's not entirely dependable, as Shruti and Priya pointed out, due to the weather conditions and other disadvantages. But it will also help us reduce the burden on the government and reduce the economic um, the money issues which we'll face. Also, I would like to say that the government should invest more in renewable resources, like setting up biomass power and stuff like that in villages, where they produce a lot of biomass and which can be reused to generate electricity. These stuffs can be used by everyone. And yeah, so the government should encourage adoption of renewable resources.
Hey, Gauri, I just want to
yes,
make a comment before I pass it on to you, right? Guys, this was amazing. I think I was able to quickly see that you guys were able to adopt things that I said, and that came out clean and clear in this round. I was able to see that not many of probing was needed, and you guys were picking it up, passing it on, talking, discussing, competing healthily, right? I like this. Great going, right? Great going. And yes, while we all know, right, future looks like it's going to be renewable energy for us. It saves uh, economically, it will be fine. It will be more cleaner, less of pollution, more of reusable things for us. And it's that's the point that I want to make. But more than getting into that, right, I want to give compliments to the people who are really participating here. Hey, Vaishnavi, I don't know if you're back. I know I saw your chat that you missed the whole discussion. Sad that you missed that. Are you back? Hey, great. Would you want to make a last comment, because I thought you were missing this whole conversation before we just close this topic?
I think renewable energies are very important. As I came in the last part where Sukriti stated her point about all the biomass and stuff, I think I agree with that, and I think we should make use of more renewable resources.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Hey guys, I want to pass it on to Gauri, but here is what I want to say. keep continuing this rhythm, right? In the next round, what I want to see, those who have not participated should also start participating. And those who are already kind of in that rhythm already, right? Increase the tempo. What do I mean? Increase the music rhythm. What do I mean again is continue this with more zeal, more energy, and that's how you learn. And I would like more participation. Whatever you've done now, same way. But I don't even want Gauri to come back and say like, there is 1 minute, there is 2 minutes, or there is like, guys, you're going great. Like, it has to just flow. Whatever that minutes, Gauri, what is the minutes that's going to be allotted? Next
15 minutes.
Right? In that minutes, no probing, guys. It has to go as a flow. And it's only when it's going to end, Gauri is going to come and say, you know what, I think it's going great. And I think it's time, that's when, that has to stop. But till that time, it has to be a conversation without a pause. When I'm saying take lead, take talks, listen, feedbacks are okay. Push, pull, pass, all that is allowed. Okay. With the control. Great going, guys. All the best. Pass it on over to you, Gauri, to the next topic. Yeah.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thanks for the feedback. It was a great going, guys. You guys did a great job. So we move to our next topic. So before we move, once again, like ma'am said, you guys have been doing great, and you need to uh, start the conversations on your own. So basically, the reason why we are doing this, a gold platform that we've made for you, is to boost your confidence. So don't hesitate while you're talking. Feel free and share your discussion points. So our next topic is role of engineers in disaster management. So our topic is role of engineers in disaster management. The chat has the topic as well as the pointers. And your time starts now, so you can start.
This is Vaishnavi. So I think it's very important to know how we are disposing our garbage. Due to the current global situation, I think climate change is a result of all the garbage that's been accumulating in
Vaishnavi, hello. Vaishnavi, you're not audible. Can you please repeat? Hello. Vaishnavi, can you hear us? Okay, I think Vaishnavi is having some technical issues. Someone else would like to take a go?
Yeah, Vaishnavi, we can't hear you actually.
For example, the reverse lakes.
Vaishnavi?
And I think we're just dumping it there.
Okay, till Vaishnavi fixes her technical issues, can someone else take it up?
Okay, yes, now I would like to talk about this topic. So, engineers' role not only in disaster management but also in forecast is great. They play a huge role. For example, as you have already stated in the description that you've given, weather forecast. Weather forecast is very, very important in preparing and preparation for disasters that are to come. And after the disaster, engineers play a vital role. For example, we can adopt AI here, we can adopt ML here to help in clearing the damage that has already been done by disasters, and also to get life back to normal. For example, civil engineers play a very, very vital role in this. Electrical engineers for power. So each engineer in their own way is very important for disaster management as well as disaster forecast.
I think I completely agree with what Shruti says. When it comes to engineers, we play a vital role before the disaster strikes and after the disaster strikes. Before, we can invent methods to detect the disasters like earthquake detection, weather forecasting, and stuff like that. And after disaster strikes, also we can help in managing it. As Shruti mentioned, we can use ML AI to find people who are stuck under the buildings, or to find people when there's a flood situation. And then we can use our electrical engineers, civil engineers, and their knowledge to get life back to how it was, like the normal way. So I think engineers play a very important role when it comes to disaster management.
Oh yeah,
And I
even
would like to add, okay, yeah, go on.
yeah, you go on, you go on. Fine.
Okay, so I would like to add another point, that engineers, not just during disasters, but also during normal days, during normal life, engineers play a very vital role, because the inventions that the engineers do during normal days are the ones that are used during disasters. For disaster management or disaster forecast, we need what engineers have invented beforehand. So it's not just during a disaster, but it's it's the role that engineer plays all the time that is extremely important.
Yeah, what Shruti and Sukriti told, I would definitely agree for it, because engineers will definitely play a very vast role in disaster management. Like earlier days, we weren't aware of the earthquakes or any other disasters, but now in the present scenario, like with help of all the technologies we've developed, so the engineers can predict the disasters. Like it might happen or it might not, but the prediction would like almost be sure about it. So engineers, they're the makers, they are very much aware of what the future is with the help of these technologies. And though we can't challenge to the nature, and we can't challenge, but we can make sure that we save the life of a mankind. And we can also avoid and mishappenings with the help of engineers, because of all the technologies and the inventions that's been invented.
Yes,
Another
I
role
would
of
like to.
um,
Okay, yes, go.
hello, sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, go
Hello.
on.
Yeah, okay. I would like to add another point, that engineers don't only play a role in forecasting and then later disaster management. We can also help in prevention, or like in not prevention exactly, but how to reduce the risk of the disaster. Like we can build earthquake proof buildings, or like storm proof buildings. And then even when there are chances of floods, we can create dams and diversions which will reduce the chances of floods. So I think even that way engineers play a vital role.
Yes, Sukriti. And adding to your point, I think engineers and technology, along with them, it's evolving day by day. It's improving day by day. So I think the accuracy of forecast is improving as well. So I think that plays a vital role in prevention, or in being ready for whatever the damage is done, whatever the damage will be done if we are not able to prevent it. I think it also plays a vital role that we're evolving day by day.
Um, you still have some more time. You can add some more.
Okay, I think engineers do play a vital role, but there are also other uh, people who also play a vital role. But what these people don't usually, in today's world, that what I have observed, this is completely based on my observation, is that engineers aren't given as much credit as they should. Because in all of these, in this entire process of disaster management, I think engineers aren't appreciated as much as they should be. Because when you see the news, I think it's just the people, the army that goes there to help them out, or volunteers that goes there to help them out. I think all those people do deserve credit, but I think engineers also play a vital role before and after and all the time, in fact. Yeah, in everything, in day-to-day life. Yeah. And since we're developing new technologies every day, I think this will also go a big way in preventing or in being prepared um, for disasters that are yet to come. Taking the corona situation right now, for example, the temperature sensing machines that they don't have to touch us. We don't have to have contact with them at all, and yet they are able to sense our temperature. I think that is very important. This is where technology comes into picture, and this is where engineers come into picture. I think this is how important engineers are in any situation for that matter.
That was a really good point, Shruti. I completely agree with her. Like every day we get a new disaster, we face a new challenge. And I think engineers are very capable of coming up with solutions for those challenges. And in a very short time too. When this corona struck, the scientists or the biologists are still trying to, come up with a vaccine or a treatment for it. But then I think the engineers came up with the detection with the temperature detection thing and the other types of preventive equipments very soon. So I think engineers are very adaptive that way. And during disaster management, I think that time management is very necessary. So I think engineers are very helpful in that regard.
So
Yes,
yeah,
I totally agree with you, Sukriti. Oh, okay, go on, Priya.
yeah, but yeah, as both of you told, I would really agree with the points. Till now what you told, but at the same way, even engineers are the boon to society, but they can either break or make the society what we tell. Like it's like it's one's vision how we put the things into reality. So engineers can design, develop, and like innovate or invent many tech products or anything, as you told, like now what the machine which detects corona, like that. But it's all left to the engineers how well they volunteer in such disasters. So it's about it's a social responsibility for engineers to take part in the disaster situations and help the society to come and make sure the society has a quite relief in situations. So I would in fact tell it's a responsibility of engineers to take part a role. It might be any role, but it's a responsibility in that way, I would tell.
Yes, Priya, I agree with you. And I also would like to add another point. It's just not, okay, this is not related to what you told. This is just, I'm just telling an individual
Yeah.
point. I also think that not just during natural disasters, but also other disasters as well, engineers are extremely important. For example, accidents that happen on road. So mechanical engineers are extremely important in this sense because they can develop preventive measures. For example, airbags, or better brakes, better tires, and they can do that. And civil engineers are extremely important as well because they have to design strong roads that don't collapse under rain and other weather conditions as well. So it's not just natural disasters that engineers come into picture, but they also come into picture when all other disasters are striking as well. And even after an accident, in the same example, if I want to continue, even after the accident, for example, if a person is in a really difficult situation and needs immediate help, then we have ambulances that are equipped with the help that they should get. So I think this is also where engineers come into play because they need to equip the ambulance with whatever necessary precautions are needed. So before, that is to prevent the disaster. They have taken steps, but even if the disaster cannot be prevented, then after the disaster, to get life back to normal, they come into picture there as well. So this is how important engineers are in during the situations of disaster.
Yeah, I think if given an opportunity and if given an opportunity, the engineers can prove very useful during disaster management and other managements as well, as Shruti and Priya mentioned. But as Priya mentioned, engineers don't come forward, and that needs to be improved. So like that needs to be taken care of. So like if engineers were given a chance, I think they can do wonders.
I think engineers are actually given enough opportunities. I think engineers aren't making use of these opportunities well. Because they have enough resources that they can invent, enough encouragement, I would say, to invent or to adapt to the situation. But if they're not doing it, if they're lagging behind, I think that is solely their responsibility.
You guys have 30 seconds more.
Yes, Shruti, what you told was really true. It's like all the opportunities and the resources is being given to quite a number of engineers, but it's about even though we develop, I mean, we being an engineer, let's assume I develop something for in the purpose of for some disasters. So it's about how the utilization goes to at the same time, because it might be for the good or it might be for the bad. So it's about as it's individual responsibility, as I told earlier. And we don't need a pushback from anyone, but it's about how we take uh, how we take the work, how we take our roles in such situations for helping out the mankind and to save the mankind.
True, Priya. And I would like to add another point that I want to add to my previous point is that engineers don't always have to be at the level of technology or any such thing. Even a farmer who finds a new way to grow his crops is an engineer by himself. Even a person who invented pepper spray for girls to protect themselves, I think they are engineers by themselves. Because if they because mothers have remedies that no one else has. So even mothers are engineers for themselves. So I think, yeah, this is the role of engineers in every disaster or everyday life as such.
Okay. Okay, so the time's up. You guys have taken just 2 minutes more, but it's okay. That's a great start with this discussion. Maithili ma'am, can we have your feedback?
Thank you so much, Gauri. I know you kind of love love the students. You don't want to let them, even you still probed once, but I will excuse you. But thanks for that. Hey guys, this time it was even more good. The thought process was running with the flow. There was a connection between one and the other, because this was not a topic where I saw there was a competition, but it was more of agreements, but the agreements added with a value point. Okay, one talks of a civil engineer, one talks of a weather, and one talks of a mechanical engineer, and then brings back to a women's safety. Look at the points. I'm just not, don't mind if I'm not telling out all the points, but I'm saying, like, whatever was brought as a very different thought process here. Minds started working, brains started working together. There was a collaboration in what you were talking, but there was hand giving, and off as well. What is hand giving, hand offs? Okay, there was an agreement, and an agreement is with a point, self point, or an individual thought process, right? It's just not saying, yeah, I agree to Priya, I agree to Shruti, right? It was not that, right? It was, I agree and I want to add this point, right? That was excellent. Okay. Only one thing that I observed, and I don't know if the topic was not a how do I say, a competition topic, or a for and against kind of a topic. I think every agreement was there, so there was a lot of silence in between. And even when there is a silence, that's a one observation that I want to give. If it's a common topic which is going to be say, this is the this is needed, or this is a positive topic for everybody, whatever the topic is. If it's a common theme, right, and everybody has points, it's okay, don't have to wait. Okay, yeah, it was a nice way of saying, yeah, I agree, while each of you said, like, I agree to the other person. It's very good that you said that, right? At the same time, still don't give that pause. Okay, don't give the pause, because assertiveness is very important. And listening is very good. At the same time, silence in this kind of a group discussion still needs to be avoided. Last time you learned certain things. I think the topic here was a little where you started thinking in different lines. I understand that, but even then, when you're making points, make it quick. That's the only observation. But great going, guys. I loved this whole way of thought process that flew in here. And I personally learned a lot of things here, right? Thank you for that. Back to you, Gauri.
Thank you, ma'am. So we still have some more time. We can go on with one more topic, and and I'm sure this time they will do even better.
Absolutely.
Okay. So our next topic is impact of Internet of Things on our lives.
This is a hot topic, so I think it should go very fast.
Impact of Internet of Things on our lives, and your time starts now.
Oh yeah, now in the present situation, I would just tell IoT is impacted way too much in our in our lives. Example, like I'm sitting here, I'm very lazy to turn off the light over here. It would be much easier and much lovable if I would just turn it off from my mobile. So that's how IoT is impacted on our lives. It has made us quite lazy, but it's quite very nice. And 1 minute.
Would anybody else want to go?
Okay, ma'am, I'll go. So IoT is extremely important, especially in the future rather than the past or the present. And I think we are the engineers that we should actually work towards making IoT more and more impactful. Personally, IoT is my favorite topic. So I can tell you that it's not very suitable for the past. We could not have used all of this in the past or in the present for that matter, because we developed a project called Smart Parking System, and it had a lot of setbacks. It had a lot of setbacks commercially, especially. If you take business into account, I think it has a lot of setbacks. IoT is extremely important, agreed, but it also has its own disadvantages. And I think we should work on these disadvantages, as I said, like business point of view. I think that is where our energy should be focused rather than inventing more and more things. I think we should work on improving the things that we've already invented, because as of now there's a lot of IoT around us, be it web cameras or be it smart homes, be it the government trying to implement smart cities in some cities. I think IoT is already trying. People are already trying to implement IoT, but it's not exactly happening because of these setbacks. And I think that is where we should work on to make IoT actually practicable. And I also think IoT is extremely important in the future because this is the era of internet. Internet is everything. No one can stay a day without internet. And I think there might be a few problems in network connection and all of that, but I think on the whole, if we take a general scenario, then internet connectivity is there, and we should make maximum use of it by implementing IoT. And the whole concept of getting things to talk to each other, getting things to communicate with each other, even when they're not together, even when they're far off, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful concept, and I think there's a lot of scope for us to improve in this aspect.
I don't completely agree with Shruti. She said that IoT is not for today's world, it's only for the future world. But then when we see the impact of IoT on people, we can recognize many fields where IoT has made a huge difference. For example, healthcare. It has made the lives of physically disabled people, or like the the senior citizens very easy. It has improved the healthcare by a lot of. It has improved healthcare so much that it's very easy for the doctors or the caretakers to manage these people. So I think it's yeah.
Yeah, go on.
When we even spoke about disaster management, IoT played a very vital role that time. About when we wanted to detect earthquakes or say tsunamis or something. Even then, even now, IoT is playing a very huge role in our lives. So I don't think it'll be right when we say that IoT is not necessary for today's world. Maybe some of the inventions don't work out now, like the smart parking thing, but many others do, and that is making our lives very easy.
No, I'm not telling that it is not for the present. I'm just telling it is not very practical for us to use it in the present because it has a lot of setbacks as of now. Take the healthcare, for example. How many people are even? It might be good. It might be helpful for the people, but how many people are even using it, and how good is it? It has helped our lives definitely, but I think there are ways that we can improve it to make it more practicable in the future. Is what I do. So we need to work. Our generation, us personally, we need to work towards making it more practicable in the future. They are trying to implement it now. The helpline, for example, itself, they are trying to implement it and they are trying to make it useful. But I think there are setbacks and we need to work on it to make it better.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with what Shruti tells, and I would add a point onto that. Like maybe people are not much aware of the IoT technologies which are available. Maybe not all. That's why IoT is not being completely used in the present situation. It might be used in some industries or some some offices and stuff, but not in all the places IoT is being used. But as if the setbacks is being corrected and if it is being much more improvised or innovations is done here, so IoTs might, like, it will really play a very much vital role in the future lives. Or maybe present it's affecting, but not in a greater, it might not have a greater impact now. It is having an impact but not a greater impact.
Yes, Priya, I agree with you. And another point that I would like to add is that in the present, what we are now, uh, there are a lot of situations, there are a lot of things that can be replaced by IoT. For example, take our houses, as Priya stated, the example of smart houses. We can't make our houses smart now because that will need to be, everything needs to be replaced from scratch. So our houses cannot become smart right now, but maybe 10 years down the line, after all the setbacks have been, okay, all setbacks cannot always be solved, but after majority of the setbacks have been solved, maybe 10 years down the line, there can actually be a smart house. There might be even now, but the extent to which that is good, that is useful, and the extent to which that has spread, the idea has spread, is extremely limited. So then maybe 10 years down the line, if we work on smart homes, we can make it useful, we can solve all the setbacks that are there, and then it will be more practical.
Exactly, Shruti. What you told was really like the point which I was supposed to tell. But other way, even I would like to add up on. Most of us know this automatic cars which being run, like, right. So it detects that of the uh, like anything in front of us, so it will take out turns and stuffs like that. Most of us know how it works, but it is on, we are doing it only in terms of the mini projects or the projects in the work. It's not implemented everywhere, but down the lane that will also be implemented. That's how the we are getting improved on it. We get the things are getting much more improvised, and we're trying to put it into the real life facts.
Yes, Priya, I agree with you, and I would like to add another point. I would take the example that have taken is automatic cars. So I think automatic cars, it is very useful, but it is also very dangerous because if there's one component that is spoiled, then it's gone. Then it's the I'm sorry. Yeah. So then it's the safety of the driver in question. So I think it's very important for us to make sure that all the components are in place. It's important for us to put security before usefulness maybe, and then implement IoT.
I would like to disagree with both of you here, with Shruti and Priya, because I think you guys are concentrating only on specific IoT applications like smart homes and automatic cars, but you're ignoring the other IoT applications which are already being used today, which are already being used very effectively today. Take traffic lights, for example. Most of the traffic lights in Bangalore are IoT based. There's no one actually controlling those traffic lights. Those they are counting the number of vehicles and being operated automatically. There are monitoring systems in hospitals which give direct feedback to the doctors about the patient's conditions. And even the physically handicapped people, the wheelchairs they're being provided, all of them are equipped with IoTs. Even the dams, which the water level in the dams are being controlled by the IoT. And even a basic thing as turning on a particular channel on the TV is being controlled by IoT today. So to say that IoT is not being completely utilized, or it's not very effective today, is not a valid point, is what I would like to say.
I would
Maybe
totally
some things
disagree. I would
maybe some
totally
things
disagree. Okay, go on.
Yeah, like some things you told, like smart homes or automatic cars, they might need a lot of work. So it can't be applicable today, but in 10 years, as you said, it can be implemented. But the other things are actually being used today. So to say that IoT is not at all impacting our lives today is not right, is what I
Yes,
It
feel.
is
Kriti,
impacting our lives. It
fine,
is
fine, go on.
impacting our lives right now. But I would like to, I don't agree with you on the previous point, because we're not using IoT when we're using remote sensors, because internet doesn't come into picture at all there. And even traffic lights, there's just a timer, but internet is not there because they don't sense the traffic, and then they don't see IoT based traffic lights is when they sense the traffic, and if there's more traffic, they let the traffic go accordingly. But that is not how it's happening. It's just an automatic traffic light, but IoT is not used there. And the same goes with TV channels, changing the channels as well. But very true, extremely true that IoT is being used, but not to a great extent. We're using Amazon, Flipkart, all of that is based on IoT, and we use live tracking of BMTC buses that we use every day. Even that is IoT, because we need internet for that. All of that is definitely useful, but the extent to which they're used is not great, is what I'm telling.
Yes, Shruti, what you told is really the point. We are using IoT now, but it's not like example that's it's mentioned here. The reminders for the payments and all stuff. So that's a basic example which I would like to tell. It is much needed for us. So we are using IoT. Few things are affecting us much in a greater impact now, but not we are not affording all the things which is based on IoT in this present situation, because it might have been introduced, but to for us, let's like what we tell, for us to re-innovate or for us to adjust to those, it might take some time, or for it might take us some investments also in such cases. Let's take an example of what you told itself about the about the what the traffic lights what you mentioned. Maybe we can control it with IoT things, but how sure are you that you will make sure all the traffic lights work with IoT, right? So implementing that needs quite a time, because it's introduced in quite few years back, and the implementation is keep on going. So the implementation in much future days would be more impact, is what we would like to tell, like I would like to tell.
I agree with you, Priya. And there's also the factor of cost, because IoT, setting up an IoT, any appliance itself is extremely expensive, because it involves a lot of sensors, which are pretty expensive. Even when we do it on a small scale, even when we do a small project, it proves to be expensive for us. But if we have to do a thing that will that we'll use in our daily lives, it is going to prove very expensive. The whole point of making everything automated, I think, is to reduce energy, cost, time, everything. And if we use IoT and make the appliances even more costlier than what was already being used, I think there's no point to it. It will save energy, it will save time to an extent, that is true, but it will also prove to be extremely costly. So I think we need to work on a lot of factors here, and then we need to make it more implementable.
Yeah, I think it's a one-time investment. Like the whole idea of inventing something or innovative something is to make our lives easier, to save time and energy, as you mentioned. So investing a little bit of money, or like how much ever money it costs, shouldn't be a problem. I
I
think
definitely do not think it's a one-time investment, because only the initial setup is a one-time investment, and it needs constant maintenance after that. Sensors need to be constantly replaced. If you take the automatic car example, we can't keep the same sensor and use it for 20 years. It needs to be constantly replaced and constantly maintained. So I think it needs regular maintenance and safety when it comes, and when it comes to safety, I think the price we'll pay for not being safe is extremely huge as well. So we need to spend a lot on safety as well. So the components need to be replaced regularly, and if there's a damage, even that needs to be repaired. So it's definitely not a one-time investment. Only the initial setup is a one-time investment.
Yeah,
I
Shruti, what
think
you told. Yeah, Shruti, what you told was right. And I would like to just question Sukriti with this. One of her examples, as you told, the locations which bus tells us, the BMTC buses which tells us the locations where the buses is. So how many buses have you even seen with that? Quite a number of buses. That's it. But not all the buses being implemented with that. So it's just people are implementing it into it, and the trialing version is being done in quite number of areas. So like how many I mean buses have you seen the things there? So it might be a quite number of less, right?
I would like to say that that example was given by Shruti, but I still want to answer your question. Anything which is brought into effect should be implemented on, like, say, on 5 or 10 buses in the beginning, and then it can be improved and implemented on others. They can't just install it on like all hundreds of buses together and then wait to see the trial, right? Like, first they need to trial it somewhere, and then they need to install it everywhere else. And coming to the accuracy, this is just the initial step. I'm pretty sure that now I think there are improvements going on about the accuracy of all these devices. Just because it's not accurate today doesn't mean it will be accurate tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
is
what I was
exactly
mentioning, that like now we are using, but the impact is not much in the present day. It might be very much impacted in the future days. That's what I was just mentioning. That's it.
Yeah, sure. And as Shruti's previous point about maintaining it and the money invested on it and all of that, I think people earn money only to make their lives easier. They
Right.
try to earn
Sukriti,
money. Yeah.
right. Your 15 minutes are up for all three of you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
And it was a really nice discussion. Maithili ma'am, would you like to add something? Ma'am, if you can give your feedback.
Hey, I'm sorry, I was talking in mute, I think. Hey guys, I was lost in the discussion too. So I think this time you rocked. And I think just coming up in the, thoroughly enjoyed this time, my dear friends. And this is what is, needed, right? The confidence that you started building, right? One session after the other, right? You started building that. And I think IoT and IIoT is what is coming up, right? The smart city, smartphone, everything is smart for us, right? Everything is apps, everything is Internet of Things, right? So while you guys were talking about this was amazing, great going. The energy levels were high. What I observed is also, right, while there was agreement, there were also disagreement, but the disagreement was stated with facts. Agreements were also stated with facts, and that's very important in a group discussion. One observation here is in a group discussion, right? Who is more assertive is also important. When there are two, three people talking, yeah, there was a collaboration scene, which is good. But if there is a point to be made, you can raise voice in making points. When I'm saying raise voice, what do I mean is not raise the tone or the pitch of the voice, but make your communication more reachable. So if you have a point and you want to stress that point, be firm in stressing that point. That's one observation I had. Otherwise, again, a lot of thinking in terms of a lot of thought process, a lot of creative ways of putting ahead, why IoT is important, why it may change lives to us, and what smart things can come in, right? And there were agreements, disagreements, but the disagreements was more with not that we don't need an IoT, but it's more from the point that the usage of it, right? But I really want to stay give away this as a thought, food for thought for you guys, right? One thing that I want you to stay with a while you go back after the session is like something that you have learned. I want you to give one takeaway, and that one takeaway, if you each of you can just talk like quickly, right? So that it will be very, very nice. One takeaway for you, Priya, and that's going to
Um,
help our, yeah, one quick takeaway, one word takeaway for you from the learnings today.
maybe the continuous speaking about, like, I could pick a topic and I could speak instantly. So that was very thing which very nice, which I learned from this.
Thank you, Priya. Moving on, Shruti.
Yes, ma'am. I learned that we shouldn't give pauses when we're talking, and I think that's a very important factor that I learned.
Superb. Thank you. Sukruti.
I think I was really excited, and maybe that showed a little. Maybe I should control my excitement, but it was really good to express my points and to hear others talk about it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I would just
Much.
like to thank Shruti and Sukriti, because without them, maybe this the pitch wouldn't have gone well. So yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah. And with that, is Vaishnavi around? I mean, she
Um,
was having struggles and she was talking as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
no, she's not around. I think she still
Hey,
had.
with that, like, thank you, Gauri. I mean, this was amazing. And one takeaway for me as well, right? It's always nice to be in a part of a group discussion, and I know the butterflies that would run in the first set of group discussions if I'm sitting on your side of the table, right? If I'm sitting and I'm going to be evaluated, right? But what I am going to take away from here is like, something that is, very, very important for all of us as a learning together, right? Is we are creative and minds works together. And one takeaway for me is like, the way communication flows in, the way the brains works when there are topics that are untouched, you still can talk, like how Priya said, like, that's one takeaway for me. And the excitement is the second takeaway for me, right? A lot of learnings, guys. And keep this energy till always, right, till the end. And keep smiling and have this confidence. Don't lose out this confidence, right? With that, I will want to pass it back to Gauri, and to kind of take this from here.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the feedback, and thank you as well for helping us students here. It was really nice, and it was a lot of knowledge. I'm sure it was very helpful for them, and I think we even saw it that over the five topics they did improve and they got better. So one more thing for the students is that the gold platform that we created is for the same reasons. We have this platform exclusively for you so that you can learn the tips and tricks to participate in a GD and crack a GD. So let us know whenever we post the topics, and let us know whenever you're interested to be a part of this. And thank you, ma'am, again for being a part of the session with us.
Thank you, Gauri.
Yeah, so you can also visit our YouTube channel if you want to view today's session as well as the older one. Not to worry, Priya, it will not be bad. It'll be a great experience. It'll be for you to understand how you've done.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, So
Yeah,
don't
I want to
forget.
add a
Thank you,
point
ma'am.
here, Gauri.
Yeah, sure.
It is also a self-reflection team. Whether you guys will go back and look and not, I will, right? Because it's a self-learning and self-reflection for me as well. It adds a lot of improvement areas for ourselves, right? Whatever that phase of life of ours would be, right? So yes, I would recommend like the way Gauri is putting ahead. Please go ahead. Then you learn your facial expressions, your tone, your pitch, how to control excitements, or how to be neutral, or what could be those changes in that we have to bring for ourselves, right? I don't want to take too much of a time, but that's something that I do for a self-reflection and self-learning. Basically, I revisit whatever already happened. It could be a book that I've written, or it could be something like this, right? A forum that I would have conducted or been a part of. I revisit so that I see what I can learn from there, as an additional improvement area for myself, right? It's a development for all of us. So with that, I'm sorry, Gauri, I stole away your time. Back to you.
No problem. That's okay. So you guys, I've shared the YouTube link on the chat, so you guys can visit. Make sure you guys comment and also subscribe to it for the everyday GD sessions. And also, we have shared the WhatsApp link with all of you through mail. So if you guys have not joined yet, please make sure to join this so that you get the daily GD topics and the session details on your WhatsApp groups. And also, I have shared a feedback form, which you'll see in the chat again. And we would love to hear from you and get your feedback. So I request Narsimhan sir to give his word of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Gauri, for hosting it very nicely. And then first and foremost, thanks to the Dr. Subhashini for creating such a wonderful platform for the students free of cost. So every day there will be GD sessions, and students are welcome to participate in it. And wholesome thanks to Maithili. You are very nice and very useful in terms of giving the tips to the students as well as to us also. Your takeaway for me is self-reflection and self-learning. It requires
Thank
at
you.
every stage of our life. Whatever we are today,
Wow.
or whatever we are going to be tomorrow, whatever we were yesterday. So self reflection is very much required at every stage of life. So that is the takeaway for me. And would like to see you again and again in our GD session. Whenever you are free, just visit us. I will furnish you the dates of the GDs. So whenever you are free, please come back again, madam. That's our request. Thank you
Uh,
all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Narsimhan, for
Yeah.
for this opportunity, right? Wonderful opportunity. It's always a learning, right? And I like the takeaways that we get from here. And just count on me, right? I kind
Yeah.
of it's a learning for me as well. So it's just count on me, right? Whenever the sessions are upcoming, just give me the dates, and as in whatever dates possible, I will love to be a part of any of these great initiatives that Dr. Shubhashini is doing. Thanks to her as well. Thanks to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, students.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and have a great evening. Great evening to you, ma'am. We'll
Thank you.
hopefully see everyone in the next session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, all of you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.